So we're back for the last part of the day of the She's Outdoors Women's Gear Award, and I have three great women with me here on my side, and I'd like to shortly introduce them to you, and we'd like to discuss a little bit further about why do we need a Women's Gear Award, and we're going to deep dive a little bit further into other topics. So first of all, well, Jana Epp, everyone knows already by now, founder of She's Outdoors. Then to her right, I have Pamela Narvasio with me. She is part of the jury who's been awarding all the winners today. And she's a consultant with focus on corporate responsibility and governance, mainly focusing on sustainability as well as innovation and digitization. So welcome, Pamela, to this round.
Thank you.
Then to my left, I have Astrid Schlichter with me. She works for one of our partners, SAZ Sport, and she is a graduate from fashion school ESME Munich. She's also a freelance journalist for online and print media with focus on lifestyle, fashion, sports, and retail. So welcome to this round, Astrid.
Hello.
All right, so we'd like to deep dive, first of all, once more into the aspect of why do we need a women's award? So, Jana, could you maybe start off with this little chat? Why do you think it is necessary at current times still to have a Women's Ski Award right now?
Well, we do have loads of awards. We have fairs that give out awards like the ISPO Award. We have magazines that check and test products and evaluate them. But what they all have in common is the fact that they mostly have male samples, and they still, even though we have a fantastic women's jury, still most of the jury members of the most seen awards are men. So basically, we do have the same needs. We do need the same products, and we do the same adventures. But still, there has to be women's products have to be slightly different. And if they are not evaluated and tested by women, then those changes cannot happen. So we do not only want to focus on the products, though also what is important to me and my team is that if you look at advertising and how women's outdoor products are advertised, it's mostly pretty smiling women outside. But we are adventurous, and that's how we want to be spoken to and how we want to be advertised and educated.
Maybe I can also hand over this question to Astrid, because I know you're working a lot in print and online media. And you've been working there for several years, and how do you experience how women are advertised, how the communication works? Can you give a little bit more insights on what's your opinion on this, and maybe if it has changed within maybe also the last few years?
I think it has changed over the last few years. I mean, we have this image, like Jana told, the pretty women smiling in the camera. But I think also that there is happening something inside the brands. The brands are looking at a really, really great target group, and they focus on. We have another anatomy. We have another physical differences, narrow shoulders, less muscle mass. So, and I think men are looking really at this technology. They love technology and they love technical stuff. Women also, but women also look at the design and they want to have the whole package. So I think there is going on something, but for me, it's really, really really nice that we have a special award for women, because only women can test women products. I mean, it doesn't make sense if we have men who are talking about women stuff.
Yeah, thanks. Maybe, Pamela, could you also add some of your experience? I mean, you've been working focus on sustainability, but also your consulting firms, you're working with directors together. What's your experience in this regard?
I mean, it's 2 points here. One is absolutely what Jana said before. It's like it's hard to find women executives, never mind board members. They do exist. There are a few of them around, but in particular in outdoor industry, it's very, very hard to find them. They're gold usually when you do find them, but they're hard to find. The other flip side of it, and that's a more personal story really, when I was thinking about whether or not to join the jury, I actually checked at all the gear that I wear, and I'm reasonably petite. I'm 163 centimeters high and just under 50 kilos. Every single piece used to be what would you sell today as a vintage male XS. XS sizes no longer exist in male, so I'm out of finding replacements. And there really isn't anything that I actually want to buy. And that is precisely the point of it. It's like I do go to the mountains, I do alpinism, and I really do not find easily gear that fits me. And I'm, for what my stature is, reasonably average, never mind those that where you see much more variety in body shapes and sizes.
Would you say, maybe sticking with this topic a little bit further, that there are certain product areas within the outdoor branch where it's definitely more important to have special products for women, and there are some, I don't know, categories which are not as important because the smaller sizes do work as well? Can you give a little bit details on this? Or, well, Jana or Astrid as well, of course.
My view, I think there are two variables. One of them is fit and the other one is weight. We tend to be, not always, but we tend to be lighter in bodies. So a percentage of the body weight to carry along makes, whether someone like my size carries 10, 15 or 20 kilos, that's a huge difference. Whereas a bloke of 100 kilos, that's just peanuts. The other thing is sizing. And we saw that actually during the award assessments is there's just often no consistent sizing around. So the same size of a similar product on the same person, it just doesn't add up. There's no consistency, and that really does make it hard to shop.
And frustrating.
Absolutely.
I mean, Jana, I know that you're all of you are very much outdoor persons and you love doing sports, but could you maybe also from your personal experience give some insights in regard what your experience are with, female products you've personally been wearing, and maybe if this also gave you some indication and motivation for having this award?
Yes, absolutely, especially when it comes to like outdoor professionals and expedition equipment. That's why I find it exceptionally hard to find gear for someone my size. So, for example, I've been looking for a hard shell jacket, and I need a really rough hard shell jacket to be able to carry my backpack with the cameras. It's often really quite heavy. So I tried to get a jacket, but I literally failed. And I went to every store in Munich, and I had a certain jacket in mind, and it was nowhere to be found. So that was kind of frustrating. At the same point, yes, of course, there is gear that is not needed in a women's size for example stuffs or pots or whatsoever. It doesn't matter if it's pink or if it's green or blue or whatsoever. It works for everyone the same. So there is categories. That's why there are some categories that we don't have in the award, where it just doesn't make sense to have a special female product for. But I mean, especially when it comes to clothing, if there is not a fit for me, then the product, if you have a functional cloth and if it doesn't fit, it doesn't function. So that is exceptionally important in that product range, I think.
Yeah. Maybe Astrid, can you also share some of your ideas? Maybe before also your answer, of course, everyone can give some questions into this round. So if you do have questions, of course, feel free to send them in, and I will get them sent through and, can ask them here to the women over here on the panel. Yeah, Astrid, please.
So from my point of view, I like downhill biking. I mean, it's not really outdoor, but
it is outdoors.
It is also outdoors, and I can find protection. I mean, the protection is too big, and then it protects not anymore. So, and there are a lot of women who are doing this, and there are a lot of women who are doing ultra runs or extreme mountaineering. So, for me, it's a little bit strange, because the brands should focus on that target group. There are small women, there are big women, and it's another fit. Like Pamela says, it's another size. We need another size. So, yeah.
All right, thanks very much. Maybe I know that, Pamela, you're working a lot in regard to sustainability. And I mean, we also had a sustainability winner now here. And I know that you've been taking a really close eye on all the products I think you've reviewed in regard to sustainability. So why is the sustainability aspect that important? And do you see any development in regard, well, to special women's wear and outdoor products and overall in this branch?
I mean, there has certainly been development over the last 5-6 years, and the whole aspect has sped up a lot in the last couple or 3, I would say. Now, why would you look at anything sustainable? And the point really is sustainability is much more than just painting everything in a shade of green. It really is about, is a brand and therefore their products future fit, and will they be competitive and around on the long term? So it's not just about the product itself. We've seen that with the apparel winner. I mean, that is a technical, really interesting jacket, but it's got very compelling sustainability credentials. That's built in. A few years ago, a product like that would have been a green category winner. Today it's an apparel winner. And that really is saying a lot how the field has moved, how much is available, but also what is needed actually from the outdoor industry, precisely because we are where we are in the outdoors. We wanting to protect our environment. Without that, we don't have an industry. It's as simple as that.
Anyone like to, Jana, you want to add something?
I wanted to say that's rather the point. We do need sustainability because we love the outdoors, and those if we're not outdoors anymore because we don't treat our planet the way it needs to be treated, and there has to be not just a slight change, but there has to be a massive change for it. And I mean, it's kind of a conflict because I mean we want to sell things. That's why we're here. Brands do want to sell. So if you tell them you can't sell because selling things is not sustainable, can't ever be sustainable, we still, in my opinion, can find a way that is like a slight approach that goes into that direction. And I mean, I do love my equipment and my heart. There's always a little piece of my heart ripped away when I have to let go of gear that just doesn't work anymore because it's had its best time of its life already. So the longer we can keep the gear and the more long lasting it gets, the better for all of us, and because we get to go on more adventures and different adventures because we can get different gear because we don't have to replace it all the time. I mean, literally when we were thinking about the categories, we do have a sustainability winner. But to be honest, no product would have gotten any award that did not have the absolute, and it's not the least amount of sustainability. We had sustainability as one of the main criteria for all the awards. So a product that is not, in our opinion, but in the opinion of the jury, sustainable didn't stand a chance on any of the awards, not only on the sustainability award. So we need to make that. We need to prioritize that. Sorry.
So it's
been a long day.
Yeah, it's kind of becoming a hygiene factor, I guess, in sustainability terms. Pamela, you want to add something? Yeah, sure. Go
Just
ahead.
very shortly.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
And I think it's interesting to see that both the winner of the sustainability category and the winner of the apparel category not only have good credentials, but they actually
And the overall winner.
But in particular, those two have also pioneering circularity and really sort of a next generation business model, and that is essential.
Maybe Jana mentioned it, speaking of selling, and I would like to hand over maybe the question to Astrid as well, that we're still, of course, talking about business. So we're talking about brands who want to sell, of course, their product, which is totally understandable. Still, though, of course, we do know maybe when we're in a certain, well, let's say, product outdoor niche, then it might be a very sharp, small target group. And there might be brands, well, I don't know, but there might be brands saying, well, if we split those products up again in a women and the man category, it's just not economical. So what would you say? Is that an issue in the branch overall? Or does it play a role? What would be your answer towards that?
I don't think so. I mean, if we talk about sustainability, it will be a point because everybody is consuming too much. we don't have to consume anything. We have everything.
Mhm.
So from that point of view, of course, if you have a man version and a women version, you produce a lot more. But on the other hand, if you go to longevity and the brands are doing so many things to repair, and there are a lot of projects to repair the stuff. And I think it should be women and men. It should be divided in these categories. And for the brands, it should work also, to my opinion.
Maybe looking also at the companies itself, maybe Pamela, you can give also a short insight into that. I mean, of course, it's always a question who is sitting in which positions. And I mean, you shortly or briefly mentioned it before, I think, but how does the structure look like there? And I guess, well, if it's only one certain group of people deciding, then they might only look at one aspect of products or categories. What's your experience there? Is that changing in the last years? Do we have like diverse set of people in those positions?
Let's put it politically correct. It's getting better.
Okay.
I think we do have a fair amount of catch up to play. That's no doubt about it. But we've also seen brands that really have been pioneers to not only bring women athletes that they sponsor, which if we go back a couple of decades was a rarity in itself, but have increasingly also brought in head of designs, head of marketing, head of sales. So they've really gone out. And it's not that there are no women with the capacity. It's, you know, if you just look within your industries, I mean, you're kind of confined to what already exists. And obviously that doesn't do the job in that sense. They do absolutely exist and they've done that job. And you see that some of them being extremely successful at that. And it changes the attitude to the market. It changes the attitude to the product. It changes also the attitude, I think, in my view, from what I've seen, of thinking what it means to hand over a business to a next generation. And you see that very, very well with a lot of the family businesses.
Yeah, it's probably, I guess, life cycles are getting shorter as well from products, and people have, well, more demands in regard what a product should offer and what benefits it should have. So I guess companies have to adapt with their products as well to the needs of the consumer as well, the female as well, the male consumers, I guess, right? Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just briefly have a look at if there are any questions, but it looks like currently there are no further questions. But if you do have some, feel free to post them, of course. So I'd like maybe to sum up this round a little bit and have one last questions for you. And I would like to ask if you have one thing brands could do in future to get even more drive into the development of women's gear. What would be this one thing be? Maybe Jana, do you want to start off?
Yes. I like with all aspects in life. One of the most important things, in my opinion, is inspiration and education. So we do want to be inspired, and we do want to learn. All of us, we have a need of learning new things. So if you look at how women are approached in advertising and in education, like brands always tend to say, no, we don't need that kind of gear because women are not interested in technical stuff. That is just not right. Like, I've been a part of the community of Fräulein draußen, the Club der Outdoor-Abenteurerinnen, which were also a huge part. I mean, they were the center of the development of the Bella Wechsel, the tent that they literally set up with that community. So you can't say that girls are not actually interested in developing things and having technical gear. They are just not, in my opinion, approached the right way. So maybe let's try to find a different way to talk to women and girls and get their opinion on things. So that would be my wish for the day, for the future, and for the next award.
Right. Paolo, what's your thought on this one?
Well, there's a technical and there's a retail aspect to it. Technical for me, it's sizing, consistent sizing to start with. Not going to XXL and XXSS, but just consistent sizing would do a big job. And it is viable. We have the scientific databases to that. And there are 2 big data sets, one for the US, one for Germany and Europe, that would allow to do that. And with digital coming in, there's enough data to do it properly. And the second one is just stop being patronizing if I want to buy something. It's like, it just can't possibly be I go in a retail, it's my boyfriend who gets the answers while I'll have the questions and I buy the gear and pay for it. So that's not very fun. If we can get that done, I'm happy to shop again.
All right. Thanks. That's good.
Yeah, I would like to agree to Jana. There are a lot of women who want to do really go outside and have fun, and they are not only doing soft sports, they are doing extreme adventure like the male colleagues also do. And so and from the brands, it would be perfect, or it would be fine to do the design process, to leave it to the women. I mean, the women have to do the design for women products, and there should not be the boss who says no, we don't want to have this product. So that would be fine.
All right.
Yeah, and
Thank
the
you.
retailers.
Yeah.
You're really right what you said. If you go shopping, they have to listen to us, not to the boyfriends.
So
also education for everyone in the industry.
So everyone who's listening to this, maybe we can definitely take that back to the brands as well, of course, into the retailers. All right. Thank you very much for your time and for being here. I really enjoyed, even though I think the view is getting a little bit less clear within the last half an hour, although it was great being up here in Interlaken in Switzerland. And first of all, of course, from my side, I want to thank very much everyone being here today, participating in this day, participating in the Instagram challenge we had throughout the day. There was really great content we saw on the social media channels. As well, of course, I want to thank very much to all the partners, to the media partners, as well, of course, to the event partners, foremost as well, of course, Tourism Switzerland, as well, of course, Tourism Interlaken. And well, yeah, of course, you all participating and the great jury we had for this event. So I'd say goodbye from my side here from Interlaken, Switzerland, from Hader Kulm. And of course, I want to hand over the last words over to Jana, who has been initiating this whole award together with her team, and say thank you very much from my side. Jana, your last words, please.
Thank you, Johanna, for taking us through the day, not only the day, but basically the whole week for the jury and you. It's been a ride. So when we first thought of this, we had no clue where we'd end up. It was like everything was open, everything could have happened. We could have just stopped in between in the middle, but actually we made it all the way in a very, very short amount of time with very little women, just basically 3 women in the center of all this. This would not have been possible, not only without our partners, but also with all the people who have been here today and all the other people that answered my phone calls, that asked questions, that looked at my website and just joined the process way, way, way deeper than I would have expected. I have gotten so much help by people I have never actually met or talked to before. So much interest in the topic. So I think that is kind of a clear indicator that there is a need for something like this. So I want to say a huge thank you to a fantastic jury, for you, Johanna, for being with us all day today.
It was a pleasure.
To my team, most of all, and of course to our awesome partners, our event partners and our media partners. It has been an honor. We're very much looking forward to see you in winter. More information to come. Thank you.
Thanks.